Mr. George Goh Cheng Wah has put his name forward and he has expressed his interest to contest in the presidential election, which will be happening in Singapore this year. So I am absolutely delighted to say that he has agreed to join us on episode 61 of Teh Tarik with Walid. Good evening, everyone. Good night, everyone. Welcome to this special episode. Hopefully, it's the first in a series of interviews with potential presidential candidates. And I am extremely happy that Mr. Goh has agreed to join us. So feel free to type in your comments and questions, and I will be asking him questions that I think a lot of you have sent in, and what I have thought of myself, and I think based on what people have been saying on the ground, I'm really looking forward to this session. Hi, Mr. Goh.
Hi, Walid. How are you?
Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So I hope this is not past your bedtime.
Not at all. You know, when I look at the Teh Tarik, I would remind me roti prata, you know.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. Next time, let's do that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No, yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Goh. So, first of all, I really wanted to applaud you and congratulate you. I think it's really hard to contest in any election, but in Singapore, it's especially hard if you are not part of the PAP. So I really would like to congratulate you.
Thank you.
And it's a big deal, and I hope people see that it's a big deal. Yeah. So
thank you, Walid.
So let's get to it, Mr. Goh. My first question is, let's address the elephant in the room, right? So a lot of people are saying, oh, with SM Taman contesting, how could there be a contender? Is this person, Mr. Goh, is he actually planted by the PAP? Is he planted by the establishment? So this is what people have been saying. So let's just get that out of the way. So do you have any comments on that?
Walid, I mean, if you look at my bio, especially the last 41 years, I'm a self-made man, right? With the small little capitals. Then in the 41 years, I've built my corporation to a certain size now. Being self-made man is quite difficult in the position to become a puppet. I think it's very difficult there. I mean, number two, you must be aware, you know, I'm not a member of any political party or any grassroots organization. The other point I also highlight, I'm not the members of the government agency, and not in any of their government-linked company as well. My company do not have any business with the government, and of course, the sovereign fund don't invest in my company. You know, maybe it's a blessing as well, no? So the other point I would like to highlight, maybe to you, if there is a third party candidate, you can check against my credential, right? Criteria, whether he is a puppet or not. Maybe if the third candidate coming, you the same to go through just now the checklist, then you will know the answer. Okay. You do a tick, okay? Make sure you do a tick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you get the answer. All right. Thank you.
No, thank you. Oh, that's excellent. So, I hope other candidates who put themselves forward will come on as well, and then I'll ask them that question. Okay. No, but thank you. That was very clear. So, so you're saying that this has nothing to do. This is on your own, and you have been planning this for a while, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, correct.
Thank you so much for that clarification. So the second one, the other elephant in the room is some people have said, you know, SM Taman, he's very presidential, and I think everyone agrees he's very presidential. so then people have said, people also, you know, sometimes they mock or they make fun of you. They say your English is not that good. So how would you comment to that? And because how would you comment on that? Because people say your English is not fluent, so therefore you cannot represent Singapore at the international stage. What do you have to say about that?
Walid, you know, we're not perfect, you know, but not half-past right? Right? I'm like most of the Singaporean, all right? I mean, if my English is not up to the mark, means cannot be appointed as ambassador, right? I'm not sure you're aware, I'm already in the first term and second term. In fact, I received the third term, but due to the current situation, I have to resign. Another point I need to highlight, international businessmen, because I travel quite a fair bit in UK, US, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. These are the countries I need to speak English. Now, of course, all the business owner, you know, we have to make sure that the language we use is sufficient enough. But don't forget, Walid, besides English, in Southeast Asia, we need to speak Malay. Don't forget about this thing. We need to speak Malay and also Chinese, especially in China. Now in Taiwan, I'm not sure you're aware, the most important language is, I think, is Hokkien. In Hong Kong, in Cantonese. So I speak all this direct as well.
Wow.
So English is not only the one international. So we have to look at the other language as well. Of course, I can improve and change. Let me give you an example. You know, I was mentioned about my music, right?
Yeah.
When I begin my music, I don't understand what I call do and re and mi, right?
Right.
But today, you know, most of the song, Italian song or French or German song or Spanish or Latin song. So I have to sing because I sit the exam, right? LTCL. So I have mastered it. So I believe I can improve. Totally no issue. So make sure that, you know, up to the mark.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Go. So I think since you mentioned it, I should have mentioned at the start for those who are unaware that Mr. Go, of course, was the non-resident ambassador to Morocco. Yeah. So the point he's making is, I mean, even if his English is not perfect, it's understandable. And I definitely understand you. I think that's all that matters. Singaporeans understand you, right? Ultimately.
Thank you, Walid. Thank you.
I do feel that. I also feel sometimes Singaporeans are a bit elitist, right? They say, oh, this person doesn't speak English well or whatever it is. What's important is that we are understood, right? Yeah. Okay. So we've got those two out of the way already. Thank you, Mr. Go. So what would we get? So this is the question, right? So SM Tharman is, in my opinion, the most popular PAP politician. I think maybe he's even slightly more popular than PM Lee, right? So isn't this a suicide mission, right? No doubt there will be. You mentioned in your press conference there's the anti-establishment vote, but don't you think SM Tharman is even more popular than his own party?
I mean, Walid, we're all aware this is not the GE this time. This is the PE. I mean, we are not in the so-called popularity contest. Whether he is able to do the job, I think this is the most important thing. To me, the most important thing is independence. He's a man, if you look at his history, right? He's a party man, cabinet minister, worked in public sector all his life. Then he's also in MAS, GIC, right? Now, how to be independent? But this is something for the citizen or for the people to understand the job. The job requires independence. Let me give you one example, right? There's one good player in Manu. So one day promote to become a referee. So happening, there was an MU and the Liverpool was match, right? So do you think, so happening, the referee is him, right? Do you think the people will accept him as a referee? Think about it. It's quite difficult, right? You're from a menu, right? So nobody will accept that. Now, I also give you another example. In international corporations, all the CEO, if you look at all the huge ones in America or UK, now the CEO, when they're stepping down, they try not to sit in the board and continue to be the board member. I think you are aware of this thing. Most of the CEO will say, let the new incoming CEO to take over, and they will drive the business to the different level. So I think this is something we have to understand. So I can't comment too much why he take up the position at this point in time. I mean, only he himself will know whether he will be the independent party for the job.
Okay, thank you. Your analogy is really is really solid. And as a football fan, I mean, you are speaking my language, you know, so thank you.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So what will we get from, you already mentioned SM Taman's strengths and maybe his shortcomings. So what will we get from a president go? Will you be a check and balance? And how so? Because you mentioned independence. What exactly do we mean? What will we get from a president go?
I mean, at this point, it's premature to talk about the Go presidency. I think we are still at the in June at the moment, right? So a couple of months from now, I think presidents have the tools, powers within the constitution. I think the number one is to safeguard the reserve, right?
Yeah.
The second one is to ensure that the right people are appointed to the key public position.
Yeah.
You know, there are quite a number of positions need to be appointed by the president. I think president have to hold these two very carefully, as I mentioned. Of course, the power are critical. That's why president is elected, not appointed anymore. I think we all know now currently we have the elected, it's not appointed. Now, independence is the only way to carry out the job. I look at these two important criteria. Definitely, the independence is the keyword we should use. Now, of course, as I mentioned, I'm not involved in any other political party and so on. So my position, of course, I stand as an independent candidate.
Okay, thank you. So,
yeah.
So somebody typed. So there are a couple of questions about secularism and religion. So I'll get to that later on. Don't worry.
Okay.
So somebody typed, is George Go the president we need but don't deserve, or the president we deserve but don't need? Okay. So that's a thing for us to think about. So people have also said that you have flip-flopped a little. Because even in your answer just now, you emphasized the need for independence. But on the other hand, in the other interview with Today, I believe you said that it's very important for the president to not go against the government, especially in a small country. The president and the government must always work together. So did you flip-flop, or is that a contradiction in your statement, or what is it?
I did not flip-flop. I think most of the people do not understand the roles of the executive and the role of the president. Now, the executive role to set the policy, and of course they run day to day. The president role is to safeguard the reserve and to ensure that the right people are appointed to the key public positions. Right? I cannot check the government on what is does day to day, but it is not within the constitution. Now, if I want to do that, I should join the political party, right? So this is the positions. It's very clear. I think the role of the executive role and the president role, you give some time for the people to understand. Hopefully this round, people will get slightly better. They understand the role are separated. I'm not flip-flops at all. I just, the process of explaining the power between the two president and the prime minister.
Right. Thank you so much. So the executive in our system would be the cabinet led by the prime minister.
Absolutely
and
correct.
then the president has a couple of powers. I mean, of course, the president is also a ceremonial position with a couple of substantive powers. And I think you rightly mentioned the two, the key to the second key
Correct.
to the appointment.
Yeah.
But the president is also a symbolic figure, right? The figure of unity for Singapore, right?
Definitely.
So yes, there's
Definitely.
intangible there also. When people look at the president, they can feel proud about
Yes.
the president. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, so the other one is about, you have heard statements even from prominent people like Madam Ho Ching about the president is not a check and balance. The president, maybe the president is a security guard or something like that. We've heard statements like that. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I would definitely one day to meet up with Mr. Taman to see what is his view, right? This is, for me, I disagree. I mean, in private sector, I mean, you must know what is in the balance sheet. If the CEO do not know the balance sheet, and the withdrawal of investment, let's say the balance sheet is 10 million, right? Some investment costs 20 million, and I say I do not know the balance sheet. So it will cause a lot of problem because the company just do not have enough capital. So I think this is one we should be aware. Now, if just Jaga, why do we need to elect him? I mean, this is elected presidents, we are talking about. So I don't think this is something we are talking about currently. We are talking about the elected president and this election in 2023. So this is my view. Yeah?
Okay. So can I clarify? So you mentioned that as a CEO or something like that, you want to know the balance sheet, right? So as a president, you would want to make sure you know exactly how much reserves we have and how much is needed for withdrawal. You would take that seriously, and you want to know down to the nitty-gritty, down to the smallest detail.
I think as a president elected, I think this is one of the things you should know.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So it's not something that you'll just trust. If the government says, oh, we need to draw it, you wouldn't just, okay, let me activate the second key. You will ask them specifically, why do you need it? How much do we have? How much do we need? And so on.
Walid, I think, yes, this answer is that absolutely we need to know the figure and in it. And I believe the CPA will have the same interest as well to know what is going to withdraw. I think we'll work together to make sure the figures is right. Yeah.
Okay, Ken, thank you. And I think that was the case as well in the previous term. I think President Halimah had to assent, to give her assent as well. Okay, thank you, Mr. Goh. I think that was clear. Now, this is perhaps the most, I don't know whether is this the most difficult question of the night, but this has been something that a lot of people have wanted to ask, and a lot of people have they have messaged me, and I've even seen online comments, and they have expressed concerns about your own religious beliefs. Especially people have said, oh, you're a conservative Christian, you know, the Salt and Light video and so on. So how would you respond to that? And especially how, if you were to be president, how will religion, your own religious beliefs, affect your presidency?
I mean, Walid, I know religion is personal, same, I believe, is you will stand the same positions, right? Presidency is a public, I mean, we are a secular country, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I repeat again, religion is personal. So we have to be very careful on this part. Religion will affect the way we view things, that normal, right? So, but the president had to think for everyone when making decision. I think this is a very important one. I like Singapore for this because freedom is to practice our faith by stay as one nation. So this is my view.
Okay, so thank you so much. So if I could just push you a little on that. So you are saying, if I understand you correctly, your personal beliefs will not affect your role as president.
Yes, I think it should be that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate that also, because some of the comments I've seen online also, it's almost as if you are a conservative Christian, you cannot run for public office. And I think that's something that we also don't want, a situation where a person is not allowed to run because they are conservative, especially if they are conservative Christian. So thank you for that. I think that is pretty clear. Okay, so there is a question by Sudhir. The president has to think for everyone. So I think, Mr. Goh, you answered. You are going to fight for the rights of all Singaporeans?
Definitely, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay. Okay, so one more question I have, unless other people have questions. So what exactly, right, for you, what is the Singapore that you wish to see, the ideal Singapore? What do you like or dislike the most about this place?
Multiracial society. Everyone is free to practice their faith and celebrate their culture. This is something I like it. Point two is a place of opportunity. I succeeded from nothing, and was given opportunity. So this is something I appreciate so much. So, but I'm worried, it's going to get harder for the people who are not from a good school or families to succeed. That's my worry point. Then my life story cannot be repeated. So these are the 2-3 points, my view.
Right. Okay. So you said that you succeeded from nothing, and I think a lot of people would find that admirable, right? But you also mentioned that it's much harder for people to do it today, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you overcome that?
In my generation, my 80s, the situation is quite different because the opportunity, not only in Singapore, in the region as well. So we can cross to the region expansions. But today, of course, Singapore is a very mature market. You know, the system is in place. The technology is so advanced. For the startup or for the new incoming small and medium business, it's very challenging in this environment. Funding is another big issue. Compared to my times, we have a couple of local banks who support the SME. Now, we hardly see the SME bank can support the startup. So that is my bigger worry.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Mr. Goh. So there have been a few addendums to this question. So based on the earlier question, so is George going to represent and fight for the rights of all Singaporeans, including queer or LGBT couples and Singaporeans?
I mean, this is very personal, so I will keep it to myself. I mean, if I'm the president, of course, I love all the people, all the Singaporeans.
Right.
That is my stand. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I thought so, based on what you said earlier. So maybe we go something a bit more light-hearted, okay? So Mr. Go, just to end off something more light-hearted, who is your favorite current Singapore politician?
Wow. There are quite a number of good ones, but there are quite a few other political party individuals also quite good. To give the balance, check and balance is good for the society. Yeah. I do not wish to appoint to say one, but I think there's a few quite a good one. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's a very politician answer, a very safe answer. Okay. So maybe something easier to answer, right? So amongst in all of your travels and all of that, and you
Walid, if you ask me the questions, which singer, classic singer I like, I will tell you Pavarotti, you know.
This one is more difficult. I understand. Yeah.
Okay.
So what about foreign politician? This one is less controversial, right? What is your favorite? Who is your favorite foreign politician?
I like Jokowi. He's a people president and very humble man.
Oh, that's very interesting that you mentioned Jokowi, right? Because
yeah.
you see yourself as in that mold, because he's not like super charismatic or anything, but he's humble enough, he can speak well enough, and he connects to the people.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Go, do you have any final words that you wanted to share with everybody, every Singaporean?
I hope there's a fair competition. I also hope there's a contest. So I hope, of course, to be just to wish all the Selamat Hari Raya Haji, right?
Yes.
I think it's tomorrow, right? So I want to wish all the Muslim Selamat Hari Raya Haji.
Thank you so much. And I think I truly appreciate this. I appreciate your candor.
Thank you.
I appreciate your willingness to come on and take these difficult questions. I didn't mean to be rude, but these are questions we have.
No, absolutely no. Professor, you are very nice. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. I really appreciate. I wish you all the best. I really hope we have a contest, and I think SM Taman wants that as well. And
yes.
If let's say you get to contest and you do not win, what do you think would be a good number that you'll be proud of? A percentage that you'll be proud of?
Well, I think the race is not begin. That don't because we cannot see in the next 2-3 months the environment, the situation. Nobody can predict, right?
Right.
So at this point in time, of course, I'm confident to come to represent the people. I will do my best to make sure to serve from my heart to my people.
Okay.
This is where I'm coming from.
Right. Thank you so much. And I think that's an unfair question also, right? Because if you're contesting to win. You're not thinking about what is the number that will make you happy if you lose, right? Mr. Go, it has been an absolute pleasure. Can I safely say that we'll be getting Harvey Norman discounts if you become president? Singaporeans will.
This is the commercial. So this is not in the right platform at the moment. We cannot do the promotions. At this point in time, we cannot do it.
Okay, we'll take that over roti prata. Okay? Thank you. All the best. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Walid. Thank you.
Good night.
Very kind of you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Everyone, thank you. Everyone, thank you.
Bye.